Have you ever wondered how to navigate the tricky waters of raising a teenage boy? The task can seem as daunting as climbing Mount Everest without a guide. But don't worry, we're here to be your Sherpa. Raising a teenage boy is a journey filled with numerous challenges and rewarding milestones. It's like a roller coaster ride. One minute you're cruising on a straight path, and the next you're spiraling through loops of mood swings, rebellion, and the ever-dreaded puberty. But fret not. This ride can be thrilling if approached with the right mindset and preparedness. One of the most common challenges parents face is the communication barrier. Remember when your little boy used to share every tiny detail about his day? Now, getting him to talk about his day can be like getting a cat to take a bath. It's a tough job, but not impossible. The key is to keep the lines of communication open, show interest in their world, and most importantly, listen more than you speak. Another challenge is the sudden behavioral changes. Overnight, your sweet boy transforms into a creature that seems to thrive on privacy and rebellion. It's like a strange metamorphosis where the caterpillar turns into a grumpy butterfly. But remember, these changes are a normal part of growing up. It's essential to establish boundaries while also giving them the freedom to explore their individuality. Understanding your teenage boy's unique needs and personality is crucial. Like snowflakes, no two boys are alike. Some might be extroverted and full of energy, while others might be introverted and prefer their own company. Some might be passionate about sports, while others might find joy in the arts or sciences. Recognizing and respecting these differences can make the journey of raising a teenage boy less arduous and more enjoyable. In the end, it's all about striking a balance between guidance and freedom, discipline and empathy, and love and boundaries. It's about being there for them, even when they pretend they don't need you. Remember, every teenage boy is unique and requires a personalized approach. It's a challenging task, no doubt, but trust me, it's worth every bit of the adventure. After all, the teenage years are just a small chapter in the grand novel of their lives, and you're there to help them write it. How do we encourage our boys to keep up the good work? This question is often on the minds of many who are raising teenage boys. The answer lies in rewarding good behavior. Rewarding good behavior is a crucial part of positive reinforcement. It's like watering a plant. Just as a plant flourishes with the right amount of water and sunlight, so does a teenager's positive behavior blossom with the right amount of recognition and reward. Let's talk about some examples of rewards for good behavior. Verbal praise is a simple yet powerful tool. A few kind words acknowledging their efforts can make a world of difference to them. Phrases like, "I'm proud of you," "Great job," or "I appreciate your help," can work wonders. Special privileges are another great reward. If your teenager has been doing well in school, maybe they earn an extra hour of video game time. Or perhaps they've been helpful around the house, then a later bedtime could be in order. The key is to make sure the reward matches the effort and is something they value. Small gifts can also serve as rewards. Remember, it's not about the price tag. It could be their favorite snack, a book they've been wanting to read, or even a ticket to a movie they've been excited to see. These tokens of appreciation can be a tangible reminder of their good behavior and the positive effects it has. Rewards, whether they're words of praise, special privileges, or small gifts, can motivate boys to continue behaving well. They serve as a positive reinforcement, strengthening the connection between good behavior and positive outcomes. It's a way of saying, we see the good in you and we want it to continue. But remember, rewards don't have to be big or expensive. The most important thing is the message they send. We see your effort and we appreciate it. It's this recognition and appreciation that will encourage them to keep up the good work, fostering a cycle of positive behavior and rewards. What happens when our boys step out of line? It's a question that many of us ask, and the answer isn't always straightforward. Let's delve into the topic of punishing bad behavior. All children, including our teenage boys, need to understand that actions have consequences. When our boys behave poorly, it's crucial to respond with appropriate consequences. For instance, if your son comes home past his curfew, an effective punishment might be to temporarily take away his late-night privileges or assign him extra chores around the house. But remember, the punishment should always fit the crime. If your son forgot to take out the trash, grounding him for a month might be an overreaction. Instead, consider a more measured approach, like having him do the chore for the next week without fail. What's crucial to remember here is that punishment is not about making our boys feel bad. Rather, it's about teaching them to make better choices in the future. The key lies in turning these moments into opportunities for learning. When you take away that video game console, explain why. Talk about responsibility, trust, and the importance of following rules. Now let's touch on a sensitive topic: the dangers of excessive punishment. It's easy to let frustration guide our decisions, but excessive punishment can lead to resentment, rebellion, and even damage the bond you share with your child. In fact, studies have shown that harsh punishments can lead to increased levels of aggression and antisocial behaviors in teenagers. So, while it's important to set boundaries and enforce rules, it's equally important to ensure that our responses to bad behavior are fair, reasonable, and geared towards teaching, not tormenting. Think of it this way: we're not just teaching our boys to fear punishment, we're teaching them to understand the value of good behavior. So the next time your teenage boy steps out of line, remember to stay calm, be firm, and use the moment as a teaching opportunity. And remember to balance punishment with praise for good behavior. Remember, the goal of punishment is not to make our boys suffer, but to help them learn from their mistakes. Because, at the end of the day, that's what raising children is all about: guiding them towards becoming the best they can be. So, how do we strike the right balance between rewards and punishments? Now that's the million-dollar question. It's like trying to walk on a tightrope while juggling flaming swords. But don't worry, it's not as impossible as it sounds. First off, consistency is key. Imagine trying to play a game where the rules keep changing. It's frustrating, right? The same goes for parenting. Our boys need to know what's expected of them, and that the rules aren't going to change on a whim. If staying out past curfew means a week without video games, then that should be the case every time, not just when we're in a bad mood. Fairness is another critical component. Parenting is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Each boy is unique, with his own strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. So the rewards and punishments should be tailored to suit their individual needs. For instance, if one of your boys loves reading, taking away his book as a punishment could be more effective than taking away his video games. Open communication, as difficult as it may sometimes be with teenagers, is also vital. We need to discuss why certain behaviors are rewarded and others are punished. This isn't just about laying down the law, it's about helping them understand the values and principles that underpin our decisions. And lastly, we must regularly review and adjust our strategies. As our boys grow, their needs change. What worked when they were 12 might not work when they're 15. Like a skilled gardener, we need to prune, water, and provide the right conditions for our boys to flourish. Remember, it's not about being a dictator or a pushover, it's about guiding them, teaching them, and providing them with the tools they need to navigate the world. It's about helping them understand the consequences of their actions and encouraging them to make better choices. Striking a balance isn't always easy, but it's essential for helping our boys grow into responsible and respectful adults. So let's keep walking that tightrope, swords in hand. After all, we're not just raising boys, we're raising the future. Let's recap what we've learned today about raising teenage boys. Navigating the tumultuous waters of adolescence can seem like a Herculean task. However, with patience, understanding, and the right strategies, we can guide our teenage boys towards becoming responsible, empathetic individuals. We've discussed the importance of rewarding good behavior. This is not just about giving them a pat on the back or a high five. It's about acknowledging their efforts, highlighting their strengths, and reinforcing positive actions. Our rewards can range from words of praise to privileges or treats. The key is to ensure that they understand the connection between their actions and the rewards. This will motivate them to repeat those behaviors. We've also touched on the necessity of punishing bad behavior. However, punishment is not about retribution but correction. It's about teaching them that actions have consequences. It's crucial to be fair and consistent, ensuring the punishment fits the crime. Remember, the goal is not to instill fear, but to foster understanding and personal responsibility. But as we've stressed, balance is vital. Neither rewards nor punishments should be excessive. Our role is not to be a tyrant or a pushover, but to be a guide. We need to strike a balance between being firm and being understanding, between setting boundaries and allowing freedom. It's not about controlling their lives, but equipping them to make good decisions. Flexibility is another key aspect of parenting. Each teenager is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. We need to adapt our strategies, keeping in mind their individual personalities, interests, and challenges. Remember, parenting is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. And let's not forget humor. A little laughter can lighten the mood, alleviate stress, and serve as a bridge to connect with our teenagers. After all, who said parenting couldn't be fun? Parenting is a journey, not a destination. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, you're doing a great job.